Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Luger mod, which is being made by user Bones. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the historic real-world German Luger, which I've been having a whole lot of fun with here in the Commonwealth, as not only is it a real-world historic weapon, which I always do like seeing added into the game, but the Luger itself is one of those very odd and unique weapons with a strange firing mechanism that I think, with its weirdness, kind of fits into the whole Fallout aesthetic. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what we do get with the Luger, which at its most basic level will deal a 15 damage with a 9mm round with a firing rate of 66, range of 83, accuracy of 61, and a weight of just 3.5. And as you can see here, it is a pretty well-made weapon. Very nice on both the modeling and texturing. Lots of great details there from the 1939 there, the small other numbers scattered about. It's just got a lot of lovely detail, which I do always enjoy seeing. Now, as for modifications, we've got a pretty decent list of things. Nothing too crazy, which I'm always a little sad by. I like when weird stuff gets added because, you know, Fallout. But it does have a good enough sort of list of modifications to make this more useful into the mid-game. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these lovely weapons, well, it's gonna be frankly pretty easy because you can find it in vendors, on raiders, gunners, and even triggermen. So darn near everyone seems to have one of these potentially on them that you can get. Now, mod-wise, to get this working, you are gonna need some prerequisites. Those being the 9mm mod, which of course adds in the ammo used for this, but also you're gonna need the see-through scopes mod for, well, you know, the see-through scope stuff, like on this gun here, which I'm gonna have to grab because, well, it's got one of those oddities that if you don't have the right part installed, some things in the modification list don't show up. So let's jump on over here to the weapon workbench and have a look at what we do get, starting with the receiver category, where it's the pretty standard list of things, going from a, well, standard receiver on up to an advanced receiver. So nothing too wacky here, though it is worth noting that with the advanced receiver, that is the most damage you're gonna get at 26. Now, as usual on these videos, that's without any perks modifying damage. So, you know, it's not the most powerful weapon ever, but it should at least last you from the early to somewhat mid-game. Now then, in the barrel category, we have a variety, and oh, that one got stuck because of the scope, so let's go to this gun. We have the short barrel, which is the standard. We also have a snub nose ported, a short ported, an artillery barrel, which is the one barrel that can actually accept other scopes. If you go with any of the other barrels, you're only gonna get iron sights, and that's why on my other gun, the artillery barrel was stuck there with no other options because I had a sight installed. But after the artillery one, we've also got a long ported and a suppressor barrel. I'm a little saddened that the long ported can't also take scopes. You only have that option with the artillery, but it is worth keeping in mind. Let's go back over to this one and to the grip category, where we've got the standard comfort or a polymer grip. We then have the magazine category, where we have the standard 8-round magazine or a snail magazine that'll hold 32, which is nice having that massive ammo capacity, but the downside, it has no model whatsoever. In fact, you can even see on like the standard magazine, we've got the screw back there just above the magazine pit, and if you go to the snail one, even the screw is gone, and yeah, it's just nothing. I really wish there was a model for that because it'd be kind of weird and interesting to see a Luger with a 32-round magazine coming out the bottom, but sadly, at least for now, we don't have that. Now next is the scopes category, where of course, again, if you have any barrel besides artillery, the only options you're going to have are iron sights and glow sights. And I actually do like that on the glow sights, it pops that little bit right there, slightly extending the entirety of the gun and adding in a slightly more useful sight than the standard iron sights. But with the artillery barrel installed, oh yeah, we got an artillery sight here, a reflex sight, a short scope, and even a recon scope for you to plop onto this thing, which is pretty lovely. And yeah, so with the artillery barrel installed, you got some fun, more options there. And finally, we have the texture category, where we have the standard black, a brass parts on black, then a metal with brass parts, a chrome with gold parts, just straight up gaudy gold, and finally gold with chrome parts. So some nice little things here. I think actually my favorite might be the black with the brass parts on it. Very nice looking, looks cool, and just overall is lovely, frankly, in my opinion. Now that is it for the various modifications, so let me go grab my other one here I made with the barrel, which, oh my god, I completely even forgot to mention something with the barrels. If we go back to the Luger one, we of course had the artillery long ported and the suppressed. I did just want to point out a quick thing about the suppressor barrel, in that it is a barrel. Rather than having a muzzle attachment to this thing, it is just a full-on barrel to give you that silenced nature to the gun. But with that properly out of the way, let's go take some shots with this thing. Now, sound-wise, it's really nothing too special. It's using the deliverer sounds, both for the general fire as well as for the suppressed. But what's really cool on this one is that firing animation, and this is why I like the Luger and think it's a fun and cool addition to the Commonwealth. It's just that weird fire action there that just is strange. But yes, works quite well. As for the recoil on this thing, it's not too bad, and with just the standard 8 round magazine there, you know, it's quite easy to control to keep it down, and overall just a fun little poppin' gun. Now let's, of course, go to my artillery one with the scope, because, I mean, Luger with a scope, that's just entertaining. Now, of course, it is a little bit disorienting when the firing mechanism shoots right up into your face while you're scoped in like this, but I also do kind of like it because, well, it's fitting to what the weapon is, and makes sense that that would, in fact, happen. And then over on to the suppressed one, which of course I went with the chrome with gold parts for some reason. And again, it's just using the deliver sounds, but has that nice fun animation. And there we go. Lovely. Now that means it's time for us to spawn in, oh god, a Deathclaw, and try and kill it with a gun that only does 26 damage. Let's see how that goes. Oh boy. Let's bring him and run. Run away from the Deathclaw. Oh no, it's gonna be like last episode with the, oh god, with the recharge gun. It's not very high damaging. Granted, this one at least can get a good, oh no, I don't have the snail magazine installed on any of these, do I? No, just the standard one. Probably should have done that. Should have thought ahead a bit, and you know what? It's actually not doing too bad against this guy. Oh god, he figured out stairs! He's gone smarter! Oh, run! So yes, again, still not the most heavily damaging of weapons ever. I mean, yeah, so it's still a pretty early to maybe mid-ish game gun if you want to stretch it out a bit there. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be anything that's going to last you into, say, the late game at all with this amount of damage. Again, it's not horrible, but that's why I wish there were just some slightly weirder modifications into there to make it a bit more useful. That would be nice to see, but as it stands, it's still a pretty fun gun. And who doesn't love a weird, strange German Luger in here? So that is, well, basically going to be it for this episode. It's going to take me a little while longer to kill this guy on my own with this thing. So hopefully you all have enjoyed. And if you would like to check out this mod for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and you do come back for the next episode, when hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one!